Hi, this is Jim Harvey, and welcome to our video series about 529 plans. Today's session is a crash course in 529 plans and their impact on financial aid. So many of our clients are worried about the rising cost of education, as well they should be. 529 plans can be a powerful college savings tool when you understand how to take full advantage of them. So let's start with the basics. There are two different kinds of 529 plans, but they are all tax advantaged college savings plans sponsored by a state or a state agency. The first type is a prepaid tuition plan. For example, we have that here in Washington. And with this type of plan, tuition and fees for a specific school are paid in advance. But often they can also be used for other schools as well. The other is savings plans, and these are the ones that we predominantly use. These are tax advantage investment vehicles where the account grows sort of like money in an IRA. Savings can be used at most accredited colleges and universities in the US or abroad. Qualified expenses can include things like the cost of attendance, which is tuition, fees, books, equipment, and room and board. There are certain certified apprenticeship programs that are also covered, where your fees, books, supplies, and equipment are covered. In addition, those plans, through some relatively recent changes in the tax law, K through 12 tuition expenses are able to be used up to a max of $10,000 per year. So what you need to do is make your plan work for you. So when timed appropriately, contributions and withdrawals can help maximize your 529 plan. With most plans, you can only contribute cash. This includes checks, money orders, credit card payments. You can't contribute stocks, bonds, or mutual funds without liquidating them first. The second thing to know is that anybody can contribute. So with a 529 plan already set up, you can just make gift giving that much easier. So, obviously a husband and wife can make contributions, but you can let your siblings, your parents, your grandparents know, and they can also make contributions to your plan. There are investment options. You can choose how to invest your contributions from a variety of investment portfolios. And as I mentioned, you may be able to use it for K through 12 education, but you have to check, as not all states recognize these updated provisions for being able to use 529 plans for K through 12. You should also research the tax impacts. Withdrawals used to pay qualified education expenses are free from federal income tax and may or may not be exempt from state income tax. So that's something to know. So here's the cliff notes on contributions. To qualify for a 529 plan under federal rules, a state program can't accept contributions more than the anticipated cost of attendance for the most expensive schools in the country. Most states currently have contribution limits of $350,000 and up per beneficiary. Now, the type of plan determines the limit. So prepaid tuition plans, these limit total contributions. Savings plans, these limit the value of the account, contributions plus earnings. Minimum contribution requirements, some plans have those kinds of requirements, such as minimum opening deposits or yearly contribution amounts, but state guidelines vary. So contributions made to one state's 529 plan don't usually count toward the contribution limit in another state. So you want to be sure to check the rules of each of the state's plans. Should you fund your plan in a lump sum or over time? Now, monthly investments may be an easy option. 529 plan earnings grow tax deferred and can be withdrawn tax-free if used to pay for qualified expenses. The sooner you put the money in, the sooner you can start to generate earnings. A lump sum may have unwanted gift tax consequences. With limited opportunities to change your investment portfolio, you can get locked into an undesirable investments for a period of time. Now, what we typically do is we suggest people do both. That you might start with a lump sum of $5,000 or $10,000 or even $25,000, and then we encourage people to make monthly contributions. The reason is that very similar to a 401k plan, it's dollar cost averaging. And so you end up not trying to predict when the right date and time it is to put your money in, but you're doing it over a 12-month period of time. So timing is everything. Although 529 plans are tax advantage, potential federal tax impacts are something to keep in mind. Under the special rules unique to 529 plans, you can gift a lump sum of up to 5 times the annual gift tax exclusion, which is currently $85,000 for individual gifts or $170,000 for joint gifts, and avoid paying federal gift tax, provided you make an election on your tax return to spread the gift evenly over 5 years. So in 2023, the federal gift tax exclusion is $17,000, and that's what comes up with those figures I just cited. Withdrawals should also be coordinated with education tax credits. The American Opportunity Credit and Lifetime Learning Credit, because tuition expenses used to qualify for a credit, can't be the same tuition expenses paid with tax-free 529 plans. So what about financial aid? So during the financial aid process, income and assets are examined to determine how much a student should be expected to pay for school before receiving financial aid. To maximize the beneficiary's future financial aid options, pay close attention to who is listed as the owner of your 529 plan. So one of the options is to have the owner be the parent and the beneficiary be the student. So how to handle 529 plans that are owned by the parents? The value of any parent-owned 529 plan will be listed as an asset on the free application for federal student aid, or otherwise known as FAFSA application. Colleges and the federal government typically treat 5.64% of parental assets as available to help pay college tuition costs. By contrast, student assets are assessed at a rate of 20%. So obviously it's far better to have your 529 plan owned by the parents. But here are some additional things to keep in mind about parent assets. Will the plan be considered an asset? Parents are required to list a 529 plan as an asset only if they are the account owners of the plan. A note for students who are dependents: a 529 plan account owned by a dependent student or by a custodian for the student is reported on the FAFSA as a parental asset, not a student asset. So that's good. Yearly income guidelines. If the parental adjusted gross income is less than $50,000 and they meet a few other requirements under the simplified needs test, the federal government doesn't count any of their assets. In this case, the 529 plan wouldn't affect financial aid at all. Subsequent years may look differently. For parent and student-owned 529 plans, funds aren't classified as parent or student income the following year when they're used to pay for qualified education expenses. Naturally, you might be thinking, well, what if grandpa owns it? So if a grandparent is the account owner, the 529 plan doesn't need to be listed as an asset on the FAFSA at all. Withdrawals from a grandparent-owned 529 plan, however, are counted as student income, which is assessed at 50% on the FAFSA the following year. This means financial aid eligibility could decrease by 50% in the year following the withdrawal. Grandparents may want to wait until their grandchild's last 2 years of college to make a withdrawal if they are concerned about the potential impact on financial aid. Please note that the FAFSA is scheduled to undergo substantial changes soon, currently anticipated for the 2024 and 2025 school year. Notably, it is likely that distributions from grandparent-owned 529 plans will no longer count as income to the student on the FAFSA. Until such time that a new FAFSA is released, the reporting requirements under the existing FAFSA will apply. So obviously that is a big development, because if that's the case, then grandparents can set up 529 plans for their grandkids, and it won't deleteriously affect their grandkids' ability to get financial aid. Either way, preparation is the key. So you should review all of your options to ensure that you're financially prepared for education expenses. If you'd like to discuss 529 plans or any other options, or if you have questions about the information presented here, please contact us at opus111group.com or give us a call at 206-283-2999. 2345. This is Jim Harvey, president of Opus 111 Group, and we hope that you've enjoyed this first of our 5 to 9 plan series of videos designed to help you make more informed decisions about funding your kids' and grandkids' education.